Hi everybody, it's Dyan here. I'm at Ranger headquarters across the sea. I'm stateside, and I'm doing some little videos while I'm in my office, just some really quick videos to send out. And one of them that I wanted to do, which a lot of people, I'm trying to do things that people have asked me on my travels if they can't get to classes or things like that. And one of them is using the journal block. I'm just going to put it on there so you can see it better. You can see this is my journal block, okay? It's shaped at one side, and it's a fabulous thing to use, is this, and I use it a lot, and whenever I'm on a plane it's always with me. It's always with me. I designed it to put the big stamps on, the big couture stamps, but I use it for all that. But I also use it for other things. There's a 9-inch ruler on the top. It's very hard to see from a distance, but there's a ruler on the top, so there's 9 inches there, and then it has this curved edge. And I do these cut out pages. This is what I was wanting to show you. People ask me a lot, how do I do these? Can you see I've got this cut out edge which turns to another page, which turns to another page, which turns to another page? Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to not finished, I'm just going to show you the basics of it. And what I cut off, I then also stick back in somewhere else. Can you see? So I've attached this here, and this will become another page, this will become another page, this becomes a page. So it's not finished yet, but I've only got one journal left. I'm off on my travels again. There's only one journal in the office, so this is the one I'm sort of showing. But if you look at any of my journals, if you see them, you'll see these multi pages all over. Okay, so I'm just going to piece of paper. I'm just going to put this to one side, and I'm going to show you one from scratch. Now I'm going to use the brand new journal because again I haven't got one with me. So there's a brand new journal here, and people say a lot of the time, do you do it when it's decorated? Do you do it after it's decorated, before it's decorated? It doesn't really matter, okay? So this book is not decorated, so I'm actually going to go through that middle there. What you need is 4 pages. So for example, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you start with the top one, okay? So I'm going to put this down here. It's just easier, I'll show you it down here, and you don't need to look at my ugly face anyway. So what I normally do is I start on the top. Remember, I've got the 4, so I'm going to go through this inked page that I did earlier, and I'm going to use a Sharpie just so you can see it better. But you could use any pen, it doesn't really matter. And what I do is I line it up with I butt it up to the spine, okay, to the inner there, and I start here, and I just take the journal block and take the pen, and I just draw. So I'm up at the top, and then I move it down, and I just continue the line down, okay? And I take the scissors and I cut on the line. Some people prefer to use a cutting knife and a mat. Don't forget to put a mat underneath, but I just use my scissors, so I'm just going to cut it down. I'm at a funny angle, so it's taking me a bit slower than normal. So I've got this piece, and I keep hold of this piece. Now then, so this is the page, and then what I do is I draw along the outline down onto the next page. Can you see? So I've got this page, and I've got this page here, and then I take my journal block, and I come out about 1/2 inch, and I draw another line. Come down, just join the line up, cut out again. You don't have to be really neat. You might think that you've got to be neat, but you don't, because when the pages are fully decorated, you don't even notice that you've not been neat. At this moment you will, you'll think, oh, that's a bit messy, but when you've finished, nobody will know. So let's come down. Cut my next page off. Repeat. You'll see why I do borders. It's just the easiest way to learn. Oops, missed a bit at the bottom. Again, get the journal block, bring it across. I like a tool that does lots of things. And this does, you know, not only do I use it for my stamping, for putting my stamps on, but I make journal lines, I make frames, and I do things like this. So it's always in use, and that, to me, that's how a good tool should be. So this is the last one I'm going to do. So I've got 3 of these, but you could continue. You could continue to the end, but I'll just make this the last one on this set. You could do 1, you could do 3, you could do as many as you like. Okay, so one of the pages was decorated, the others weren't. Put that to one side. And again, I'm just going to draw around. Oops, you won't see that when I finish doodling. And then again, I'm going to make a border. Even though I'm not going to cut this one out, I quite often like to make borders here as well. And because I'm a big doodler, so I will doodle in these borders. Okay, so can you see? These are the pages that we cut. Now this first one, these have all got borders. This first one doesn't. So what I do is I come this way and I draw a border in. Then they all match. So you can see I have this page, I have this page, I have this page, and I have this bottom page. But I could have cut another one, I could have cut smaller ones here. And these are the pieces that I cut off, 3 pieces that I cut off. I'm going to do something with those in a minute. But for now, I'm just going to show you some little things that I do on here. So what I would normally do is, and again, it doesn't matter whether, if I'm on a plane and I've got nothing to do, I will doodle these while they're blank. But if I was at home, I'd maybe decorate them first, like this. But I like to do some basic doodling, so I will just maybe take some semicircles here. I always do simple doodling, okay? Very, very simple, because that's simple. Now, if you have more time, you can doodle the doodles. You see, you can do stuff like this. You could have little circles coming round. It depends. Some people can't bear to doodle, others love to doodle. Okay, Dina, my lovely friend, would rather stick pins in her eyes than doodle. You see, so you can do this. So sometimes I'll just lay down, this is what I call the scaffolding, and then I will build up. Now what I normally do is, whatever I do on this one, I then miss one and I come to this one and I do the same. I like the same thing repeated. You don't need to have hundreds of different doodles. So I'm just going to come down there. And then again, another time, I'll come back and I'll be adding the different bits and pieces, like so. So if we flick back, you can see this is doodled and then this one. So then what I'll do is come to the second one and think of a different doodle that I might like to do. So let's do zigzag. So I'm just going to zigzag from top to bottom. Now, I don't take care, as you can see, and I'm leaning across the desk here. And one of the reasons that I don't really take any care, and I don't mind if it's messy, is I'm normally on an aeroplane flying thousands and thousands of miles above with turbulence. So once you've experienced that, you're not bothered. But again, you can redoodle. Do you see what I mean? You can add extra bits or whatever you want to do. Like that, and then I would repeat it on this one. I'm not going to go right to the bottom on this, and then just add it in, etc. So can you see? So it gives you the impression that there are more pages. So that is that. Now, what I quite often do is I'll separate them. So I will do this as one spread, this as one spread, this as one spread, so I'll probably add orange and pink, and this as one. That's just my personal, as you can see back in here. Oh, can you remember? Look. So this is one. You can see where the doodle line was. This is one. This is where it was doodled. This is one. This one I've done separate. I've done this one and I've done this bit. Okay. But that's what I normally tend to do. Then, to stick the other bits back in, you go to somewhere else in your journal, Okay, you take these pages. You could have stuck them back in front of them here. Can you see how they fit? We could have done that. Or you can just go to somewhere else and stick them in, and that's what we're going to do. And you start with the biggest one, okay? And this is what I normally do. And I always use, where have I popped it? Here we go. I always use Tim's tissue tape. Tim Holtz, the lovely Tim, has this fabulous tissue tape. Now, the reason I like it is not particularly because it's his or anything like that. I can use anything I want. In fact, you could use masking tape. You could use one of your 877 rolls of washi tape that you all seem to have got. You could use painter's tape, anything like that. What I like about the tissue tape is, one, it's very plain, it's just in black, and to me black goes with everything, so it's black, whereas your washi tapes, some might be pink, some might be orange. I find you forever matching. But also, because this is a tissue, we can ink it, we can paint it, we can, you know, we can colour it in any way, so we can make them match. So this is how we would fit them back in. We line it up again with the centre of the book, and you take your tissue tape and you put it half on, whoops, there we go, half on the angle. You put it half on the page that you are sticking in. Can you see? So it's half on this one and half on the page that's already in. You then turn it over and you do exactly the same on the back. Now, tissue tape just tears, look, it just tears. Okay, again, remember, you might think, oh, it's a little bit messy. By the time you finish the book, you don't see this. But the reason I like to do this is, can you see this page turns perfectly? And unless you really spotted, you wouldn't know it was added back in. Then we'll do the same with the next page. You lay it down backwards, you add the tape, you pull it, so it's half on this page, just press it down, half on that page, turn it over, do it again. Now you can see I'm laying tape on tape. Is that necessary? Yes. If you don't, your pages will concertina out. Every time you put a page in, you have to add tape to the front and the back, both of them. Okay, so then the last one, again, can you see I've got it backwards that way, because I'm going to add the tape. Now, tissue tape is not a really strong stick to start with, but it becomes strong as it stays on there. So if I lifted this book up by this tissue tape, it would come off. But if you leave it to cure, which means if you just leave it alone and let it dry and do its stuff, you will be able to use it to lift. For example, let me see, there's, must be that one. That's a page. Can you see I've added a page back in? There's tissue tape there. There's tissue tape there. Look, it will hold. Can you see I can hold the book up and it's got the strength to go through. Again, if we go to one of the pages here, that's on a little page. Can you see? Look at the strength that the tissue tape has. But you need to leave it to cure. Okay, so we had the pages here. We used the journal block. That was so I call those the interior pages because they were already there. And then we add the exterior pages. So these were the cut-offs. We take them and we just add them back in. And then I can paint them, I can ink them, I can do anything like that. So that's how I do the edges. I also just really quickly just want to show you some other bits with the journal block. If you can see here, you see this writing. Look what I used. I used the journal block. Can you see? Maybe if I lie it down, you might be able to see it better. I used the journal block for the writing. If you look on this page here, can you see in here, in the blacked out? I used, must have been that way, the journal block to draw the lines in. I've put some little notes in here. Can you see this frame all the way outside? What's that? It's the journal block. Can you see every line on that frame is the journal block? I just drew around it, and I usually do these on an aeroplane. That's where you'll find me using them most. Again, look, journal lines. Can you see? I just drew them. And again here, I've just used the journal. It's a fabulous tool. Absolutely. To me, it's invaluable. And again, there's one more frame here. Oops, pick it up. Can you see? The frame was just done. And also the lines in the journal block were drawn with this. So it's just some really quick things that you can do with those. And it just helps to give a bit more oomph to your art journal. Easy when you know how, isn't it?